without transponders, leading them perfectly into their targets. The steel buildings magically explode and shatter and collapse. Even if you believe the official story, then you've got to then say, okay, well, if bin Laden did this, and he targeted civilians, and this is what the red, white, and blue does, dropping A-bombs on people and firebombing Dresden and killing about 400,000 people, they estimate, in one night, and threatening Germany they were going to do it. And by the way, Dresden was a non-military, non-industrial city. It was known as a safe city for people to send their children away during the bombings, just like England did. The biggest majority, the biggest percentage was children. Not the majority, but the largest aggregate piece was children per capita. If it's great to kill women and children, I don't agree with that, by the way, then it was a legitimate target for Osama bin Laden. So, see, you can't have this whole hypocritical view that war, it's good to kill women and children, it's good to devastate and have Sherman-esque scorched earth. Because I remember Limbaugh and others just freaking out over targeting women and children, targeting civilians, how cowardly it was, how horrible it was. Well, the 1,000+ drones openly say collateral damage is fine. If they kill 200 women and children and they kill one bad guy, they think it's okay. Well, then that was a financial target in a war. What do you think the globalists do when they attack a country? They bomb the government buildings, water treatment, power facilities, government systems, financial systems. I mean, remember when Clinton bombed Belgrade, Serbia, blew up TV stations with people in them? See, the truth is, I don't like doublethink. I don't like hypocrisy. Oh, it's bad when the North Vietnamese tortured our people, but it's good when we torture. Or it's bad when the Russians have been caught torturing, but it's good when our government tortures. See, this is mental illness. Oh, it's okay when Rush Limbaugh gobbles 100 Oxycontins a day, enough to kill 7 to 8 full-size horses, but when your 16-year-old gets caught with some, 5 years, 10 years in prison. See, it's okay to bomb Dresden and Tokyo and with firebombs and Hiroshima and Nagasaki with A-bombs, even after Japan was trying to surrender unconditionally. But then it's bad, if you believe the fable, for Osama bin Laden to have suicide hijackers fly into buildings. You see, this is sickening level of hypocrisy. Now, that's a side issue in and of itself. That is a complete and total side issue compared to Limbaugh's lack of understanding of history. Now, I'm going to play this clip, then we're going to come back and break down why he's wrong historically. And I'm going to go through just a brief gestalt of the history of Western warfare. We don't have time to look at other cultures. But there's a word involved called chivalry. Let's go ahead and play this clip.
The documents cover some known aspects of the troubled 9-year conflict. U.S. Special Operations Forces have targeted militants without trial. Afghans have been killed by accident. Why? That is unheard of. That is unheard of in any war anywhere in the history of the world. That civilians have been killed by accident? That's unheard of. Do you realize what this says about us? How guilty, how rotten to the core can this country be? Innocent Afghan citizens killed by accident. In the old days, it used to be on purpose, i.e., Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Dresden. In the old days, the definition of winning a war was killing people and breaking things. In the old days, there was no such thing as a surgical strike. In the old days, you purposely killed innocent civilians. That's what war was all about. That's how you won it. But now, all of a sudden, these big WikiLeaks documents say that Afghans have been killed by accident. Whoa, the incompetence of the U.S. military.
All right. Now, history's so complex, I don't want to oversimplify this, but let me just state a fact here. There is scorched earth enslavement, salted earth systems like the Romans had, where if a country or a region or a tribe resisted, they would go in and kill all the men down to ages 10 to 8 years old. They would even then salt the earth in regional areas so they couldn't grow crops. But even most Romans said that that was immoral, and that only came later in the decline of the Roman Empire. If you look at the Middle Ages, if you look at what then came out in the Renaissance after that, armies lined up of men, and they fought each other, and they had rules of war, and you did not target civilians, and if you did, you were executed. George Washington, that I guess Limbaugh would call a coward, would hang or shoot, and this happened, any U.S. troops that engaged in any type of war crimes, raping, stealing, any of that. Now, it wasn't until World War II that civilian population started getting targeted, and I want to tell you the story of how that happened. So no, not in the good old days, Limbaugh. Not in the good old days. This didn't start till World War II. We're going to come back and break that down. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. The earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear disaster that killed thousands of Japanese citizens is nothing compared to the devastation that could be caused by hyperinflation that will soon hit the United States and could lead to millions of Americans becoming homeless, all caused by the devalued U.S. dollar. While the mainstream media continues to ignore inflation, our friends at the National Inflation Association provide a free weekly newsletter that educates Americans to the facts and truth about the U.S. economy and inflation. I urge you to sign up at the NIA's free newsletter at www.inflation.us to learn how you can not only survive, but prosper during the upcoming hyperinflation crisis. Silver has more than doubled since the NIA declared silver the best investment for the next decade on inflation.us. The NIA's team of expert economists are happy to answer any economic questions you have about inflation, debt, currencies, real estate, precious metals, and commodities. Visit inflation.us to learn the economic truth that the mainstream media ignores.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 5 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $220. And the Berkey Guy will include 3 sport Berkey water bottles and ship everything to you free of charge. That's right, 3 sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping. An $87 value, yours free. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that it could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full-acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
Federal agents, we are armed!
You see, the most militarized, vicious societies always develop something called chivalry, rules of war, because they don't want their families being overrun and slaughtered and killed. The men say, we're just going to kill each other, and may the best man win. And that is the great expression of true warriors. And I'm not trying to compare the mafia, but at least they have that code, the Italian mafia, who's been supplanted by the Russian mafia, the Mexican mafia, the rest of it. They've been legendary for not killing people's women and children. The Mexican cartels, that's who they target. And it's because in the rules of war, leave the women and children out of this. Don't drop bombs on them. Now, Hitler was a bad guy, but mainline history is a fact. He would not bomb the British cities. when the Blitzkrieg began, he would only bomb military sites, and then the British launched an attack on Berlin on civilian centers, and it was later declassified to make Hitler attack British cities, knowing that that would actually cause their morale to go up and steel them for full-bore war. And then, of course, you know, Germany was completely leveled, so was Japan. And the public bought into it because it was seen as a struggle for survival. Total war. Go back to World War I, it was men lined up killing each other in the trenches. So this total war thing that Limbaugh calls the good old days is only about 65 years old. And in the old days, when the Japanese bombed cities in China, it was called barbarous and horrible until we then did it. So the point is to round up kids and shoot them, or to put thousands of men in containers for 3 days till they die of exposure. That's torture. That's murder. That's wrong. Because then it's going to happen to our troops, and how do we then criticize it? You want rules of war, ladies and gentlemen. And to hear Limbaugh up there, this addled former drug addict who's hypocritical, getting off on war, getting off on death, and saying, you know, our military's incompetent, they need to kill people and break things and be indiscriminate. Well, if you knew anything, Limbaugh, the Pentagon doesn't have a public stance on not killing civilians because they're wimps. They want to win the hearts and minds of these occupied countries. These are guerrilla wars. These are not beating the German military. This is not a classical, you know, front-on assault. These are occupations. So that causes people to resist you. So that's why the Pentagon has a stated policy of not wanting that, because they want to win the hearts and minds, dummy. And so you get up there and say, this is great, this is cool, this is manly. I can't tell you how many other chicken hawks, like Limbaugh, who got deferments for a boil on his rear end, I can't tell you how many of these chicken hawks think war is manly. I saw a report a few years ago about Richard Pearl, the Prince of Darkness, at a cocktail party, coming up to women, bragging that he ordered bombings and was manly. An obese, self-propelled stomach who couldn't do one chin-up if his life depended on it, bragging about killing people. Okay? Now, I want to play you a clip of British troops beating Iraqi children, and listen to the demonic voices. Is this what the good guys sound like? This is from Iraq. Bring the kids in.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You're going to get it. Yes. Naughty little boys. Yes. 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 Oh, please, don't hurt me.
By the way, it's been reported by survivors that have escaped from serial killers, children and women, that when they're biting chunks out of them and raping them, that's the noises they make. Now, that guy's probably going to go back and be a cop in England. So that's who's going to rule over us in England and the U.S. Yes, yes, yes. We're the good guys.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Alex told you the government announced recently that the recession is over. It ended on June of 2009. The millions of Americans unable to find work might not agree. Perhaps the recession ended for the bankers and government employees, but for the rest of us, things seem to be getting worse. Gold and silver haven't heard the news either. They've begun their long-expected journey to the moon. In addition to converting your shrinking dollars into gold and silver, you should consider a food savings account from eFoods Direct. They both make fabulous investments. Food is our greatest dependency, and we know it will be more precious than any financial resource. You and your family need food to survive a crisis, and you can't eat paper, stocks, or metals. Alex has been urging you to invest in delicious, easy-fix meals to enjoy now or save for long-term. This will freeze the cost of your food while you can still afford it. Visit efoodsdirect.com on the internet or call 800-409-5633. That's efoodsdirect.com or 800-409-5633.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.